Very good morning, students. Today, I, Dr. Sanghamitra Das, after talking about retail management in the previous class, the introduction of retailing, today we'll be talking about the retail strategies. So, in this particular session, we'll be covering the topics like strategic retail planning, that is the retail strategy that has to be adopted for doing a retail business, the organization of, and the organization of retailing. So the strategic retail planning is actually what? It is the planning process which after considering the HR potential and USP of a particular store takes the proper shape. It is normally divided into the following steps. Deciding the store's philosophy. The first one is deciding the store's philosophy. So the mission and objective, then we have the situation analysis, then formulation of retail strategy, then talk about the strategy implementation and control. So first one is deciding the store's philosophy, mission and objectives. So the retail strategic planning process starts with the identification of the store's mission for its existence and hence the scope of the retail store. So the mission of a store entails identifying the goods and services that will be offered to the customers. It also deals with the issue that how the resources and capabilities of a store will be used to provide satisfaction to customers and how the store can compete in the target market against its competitors. In objectives, we have internal store objectives and we have external store objectives. We talk about the internal store objectives, that is with the available resources. The level that is expected to be achieved is defined by the internal store objective. For example, I've given increasing the income of the store in the upcoming year by 15%. This is the objective that has been decided by the store internal. This is the internal store objective of a particular retail store. Now, if we talk about the external store objective, of course, when it is external, that means it is the bearing of a store on its environment. So, this is referred to as the external store objective. For example, offering quality products at you have decided, you have taken an objective that you are going to offer quality products at low prices to gain high degree of customers' confidence. The mission also involves the ways of stores functioning, how a store will work and accomplish its day-to-day operations, what is the emergency planning. All are answered in the store's mission statement. For example, Vishal Mega Marts, they have the philosophy that customer satisfaction through manufacturing to retailing. So this reflects not only the way it tends to treat its customers, but discusses the secrets of its competitive advantage. That is, the profit saved from absence of intermediaries like agents and brokers. Commission saved is distributed to the customers by way of low-priced items. Once the organization mission has been determined, its objective desired future positions that it wishes to reach should be identified. So the store's objectives are defined as ends which the store seeks to achieve by its USP, that is the unique selling proposition and its operations. Now, if we talk about the other objectives, it will be classified into, we have already discussed that it will be internal objectives and it can be external objectives. So now we talk about the situation analysis. When you're setting up a retail store, you have to do a situation analysis. So the objective of doing such an analysis is actually to determine where the store is at present and to forecast where it will be formulated. Strategies are where it will be if the formulated strategies are implemented. So the difference between current and future position, that is the forecast, is known as the planning or the strategic gap. So under organizational analysis, normally the stores study their external and internal environments. Now, if we talk about the internal analysis, it determines the quality and the quantity of the available resources, the effectiveness of the utilization of these resources, and the degree to which these are distinct and difficult to be imitated by the organization. The types of questions that are inquired under different resources are: first is human resources. Is the present strength of employees at various levels sufficient for future action? We have decided, think all these things. This has to be decided. Are the employees trained and capable to perform the task that has been assigned to them? Are the employees loyal to the store? Then, if you talk about the final resources, what is the total cash flow from the store's present activities? What is the ability of the retail store to collect money at the time of requirement? How much effective and stable the financial position of the store is? What is the ratio between the fixed and the current assets? All this has to be analyzed internally. Now, if we talk about intangible resources, so you have to decide what is the present capability of the company's management, how effective is the research and development cell, how good is the competitor's intelligence system, how effective is the store's loyalty, what is the capability of retail store management. So, all this analysis has to be done. Now, if we talk about the external analysis, so you have to understand the economic environment of the retailing, the political environment of retailing, the legal environment of retailing, the socio-cultural environment. So the store's task is that environment because the environment is going to influence the retailer's own policies and includes the competitors, suppliers, and customers. So an analysis has to be done. Once the analysis is done, then you have to identify and evaluate the strategic opportunities that lie with you. Over here, I've shared Iger Ansoff matrix, which actually helps you to decide whether you wish to penetrate the market or develop a market or you have to diversify. You can see in the upper column we have taken market segments, and in the on the left hand side you have taken retail formats. So in case you have if you see in the first quadrant, that is your retail segments and your retail formats, both are existing. Okay, so you have an existing retail format and you have an existing retail segment. In that condition, the strategic alternative or the strategic decision that you can do is you can penetrate the market. In case your market segment is new and your retail format is existing, in that case you can think of an expansion or market development. In case your market segment is existing but your retail format is new, then you can think of retail format development. In case your retail format is also new and your retail segment is also new, then you can think of diversification. So these are the various alternative strategies you can take when you're deciding to enter with a retail store. Then identification, and you have to identify and evaluate the strategic opportunities. So the first, that is, we talked about market penetration. How will you penetrate the market? It can be with the help of reduction in prices, increase in impulse purchase through visual merchandising, increasing the convenience, increase promotions, store revamps. If we talk about market development, you can do it through introducing existing product in completely new market. This can be done by either targeting the new segment of the customers or by the geographical expansion within the native environment. Then if we talk about product development, it can be reverse of marketing development. New product is introduced in existing market to increase its sales. Example, grocery retailers do so by introducing the non-food line items like stationery products, electrical goods, etc. in the stores. Now if we talk about diversification, it aims at launching new product in a new market. It can be related diversification, it can also be unrelated diversification. So the range can you can have a range extension, that is the retailers add new product lines. Example, cloth retailer adds a new range of shoes. You can have a market extension, developing new market segments with modified products connected to the existing products, wider than the geographical extension. Then you can have internationalization. This strategy distinguishes the market development in domestic market and foreign markets. Since dissimilarities are there in the domestic market and foreign markets, high risks are involved in this. Now, if we talk about retail format development, it is introducing new formats for existing customer. For example, Crossword opening similar smaller stores by the name of Crosswords Corner. Now we'll talk about formulating the retail strategy. In this stage, after analyzing the store's capabilities in terms of HR, finance, physical and intangible resources, a store manager formulates the retail strategy with regard to marketing, retail positioning, and retail mix. So, marketing is the way to achieve the set objectives. Therefore, marketing strategy should be devised according to store's primary and secondary objectives. Generally, marketing strategy is developed on the basis of product and or market segmentation instead of the market as a whole. So, under retail positioning, a retailer conveys the message that its products are totally different and as per customers' requirement. The reason here is that customers are attracted towards items that are new for them, with the perception that if it is new, it will have some extra added features. Retail positioning is made possible under the following circumstances: by differentiating the store's merchandise from its competitors, by offering high level of after sales services at nominal or no cost, and by adopting low pricing policies. Then development of marketing and positioning strategies. Using product characteristics or buyer benefits as a positioning strategy can be used. This strategy basically focuses upon the characteristics of the product or customer benefits. For example, if I say that imported items is basically tell or illustrate a variety of product characteristics such as durability, economy, or reliability, then you can take an example of a motorbike also. Some are emphasizing on fuel economy, some on power, some on looks, and others stress on their durability. For example, Hero Cycles Limited positions first, emphasizing durability and style for its cycle. Then pricing as a positioning strategy can be used. It highlights the low prices, emphasizes that customers get great value for the pay. For example, you have Big Bazaar. Then we can use positioning on the basis of its use or application. For example, like you are having Nescafe for many years. It has positioned itself as a winter product and advertised mainly in winter. But the introduction of cold coffee has developed a positioning strategy for the summer months also. Then positioning can be based on product class also. In some product class, we have to make sure that critical decisions, for example, freeze, dried coffee needed to position itself with respect to regular and instant coffee, and similarly in case of dried milk makers came out with instant breakfast positioned as a breakfast substitute and virtually identical product positioned as a dietary meal substitute. Then if we talk as image or personality positioning, that is basis the association with a strong and famous personality or image. For example, retail store from K. Raheja Group Shoppers Stop stands for its retail image and culture. Then positioning based on a competitor. In this type of positioning strategy, an implicit or explicit frame of reference is one or more competitors. In some cases, reference competitors can be the dominant aspect of the positioning strategy of the firm. So the firm either uses the same or of similar positioning strategy as used by the competitors or advisor, or uses a new strategy taking the competitor's positioning strategy as the base. Then you have attribute positioning. In this, a certain attribute can form the basis of positioning. For example, in India, Hometown is the first and distinctive home improvement retail system that offers wide selection and range under one roof. Now, if we talk about the retail mix, it is actually defined as the factors used by retailers to not only influence the buying behavior of customers but also satisfy their needs and wants. The different elements are price, promotion, store, atmosphere, location, advertising, merchandising assortment, customer service, and visual merchandising. So, evaluating the retail strategies. So this helps in determination of the potential of the retailers to gain long-term profits and maintain competitive advantage. The retailer evaluates market opportunities relating to technological requirement, degree of competition, environmental issues, market size, rate of growth of market, legal and regulatory issues. Then you have retail organization that is developing business structure or format for satisfying the end customer needs is called retail organization. It is the aggregation of resources and people in a formal way to achieve certain objectives. It uses many resources like labor, land, machinery, capital, etc. Then if we talk about customer centricity, it should be the key aspect in retail design. It tries to create the right structure and allocates roles and responsibility. So then we have the process of retail organization, which outlines the process you can see over here. The first step is outlining the specific task to be performed in retail distribution channel. Then dividing the task among the channel members, then grouping the retailers into jobs, then classifying the jobs, integrating position through organizational start, and assigning the jobs. So the process of retail organization first is outlining, that is the specific task to be performed in retail distribution channel. So first is strategic management. So in this, the various strategies that a retailer has to think about is target market identification, retail format determination, selection of retail location, retail strategy development, finalization of the organizational structure. In case of the administrative management or the operations that it has to take a decision about is promotion of retail organization, its products and services. This includes designing communication, budget, media, promotions, special displays, maintaining public relations. In case it has to manage the human resources, The various decisions are regarding the maintaining record of employees, conducting recruitment, training sessions, career developments. Then it has to manage the distribution also, like tracing the warehouse, getting stock, marking and labeling the stock, storing stock, returning stock to vendors. Now, if we talk about the managing finance, it has to estimate the sales, it has to see the cash flow, the profits, maintain the capital investments, etc. So, merchandising management includes buying goods and raw materials, managing stock out issues, selection of suppliers, controlling the environment, inventory situation. In case of store management, it has the following duties that of allocating the roles and responsibilities, determining the store design, the control pilferage, etc. Then next step, we talk about the next step, that is dividing the task among the channel members. In this, the retailer can perform all or some tasks from the buying of the material to the coordination. So the manufacturer retailer, there can be few functions such as shipping and marketing, inventory storage, displays and research. In case of specialist, they have some particular tasks like market research, ad agency, credit, then giving credit, then computer services. So in this way, you can divide the various tasks among the channel members so that your task can become easier as a retailer. So then you have the grouping the retailer tasks into jobs. You can have various jobs like displaying merchandise, the customer contact, the gift wrapping, the customer follow up. Then they have the sales personnel entering transaction data, handling cash and credit purchase, gift wrapping. Then you have receiving the merchandise, checking incoming shipments, marking merchandise, inventory storage and control. Then we have window dressing, interior display setups, display personnel, billing customers, credit operations, customer research. So these are the various jobs that has to be grouped by the retailer. Then if we talk about the classification of the jobs, it can be done on the basis of functions, for example, sales, marketing, advertisements, etc. It can be done on the basis of store. The store may have categories like clothing. It can be done on the basis. Sorry, it can be done on the basis of product. There can be product classification like clothing, groceries, furniture, etc., which require different skills. Then there can be geographical classification where the classification is carried out to capture the different prevalent local conditions. Then you have integrating the position through an organizational chart. So you can make a organizational chart and you can actually, with the help of a chart, you can lay down the roles and responsibilities and also the people who have the authority to carry these out. It can be considered as a visual description, you can say. It is well known where who the leader is in such organization as the span of control is very small. Then you have assigning the jobs. Once the organizational structure has been defined, it allows the activities and the functions of the organization to be carried out. This also helps the organization to know as to where the specialists are required in the organization to be carried out. So this helps the organization know as to where the specialists are required in the organization. It also helps to identify the various responsibility centers and the people who have authority in the organization regarding specific tasks. So, though a retail organization, a firm structures and assign tasks, policies, resources, authority responsibilities in order to efficiently and effectively satisfy the needs of target market, employees, management, and the sale shareholders. So, then we have the organizational structure. The organizational structure offers retail single store retailer. The owner is the whole sole managing entity of that store. So we are talking about the various organizational structure. We can have a single store retailer where the individual represents the entire retail organization. He allocates the roles and responsibilities to the entire staff. He also coordinates and ensures that everyone is performing as per the expectations. Span of activities of a single employee is quite large, so specialization is very poor. All management activities are executed by the owner. Specialization in organization increases as sales grows and new management executives are appointed. Then, if in case the line is staff organizational structure is used, then merchandising can be there, which involves the act of procuring and selling the merchandise, planning for the replenishment, and finally having control mechanism in place. Then, if you talk about publicity, the manager is responsible for managing the interior displays, the window displays, the designing and implementing promotional tools like advertising, public relations, etc. Then we have the store management. Then where it is responsible for maintenance of merchandise through managing its purchase, inspection, marking, the storage, etc. It is also responsible for managing the daily operations of the department. Then if we talk about accounting and control, it involves keeping the check on details and collection against outstanding managing expenses. Then you can also have the retail structure, which is in the form of a chain, or you can say chain retailers. So the chain retailers also have a lot of diversity in terms of makeup and organization, but they have some common features like several functional divisions are available, like merchandise, personal management, store operations, etc. There is a high degree of centralization of responsibility and authority. The store managers are only responsible for selling. There is a high degree of standardization in the operations like credit policy, merchandise lines, fixtures, store service, building design, and store layout. Management collects the information and coordinates store activities through in-depth control system. So these are the various structures of an organization. So for today, I think we have talked about the retail organizational structure. We have talked about uh, the planning the retailer has to do. So this is all about today's session. Okay, students, thank you.